What's up, rock stars? It's your buddy DA with the GA, back with another episode. We got something very special planned today. Completely impromptu, to some degree. My MT15 decided it went quiet. And I noticed that the volume just wasn't there. I was like, wow, that's weird. And it was like kind of distorted for one. And again, I had it on the clean channel. And um the volume just wasn't there. So I switched to the dirty channel. It was exact same sound. I was like, oh, okay, that's not a good sign. And then I turned the volume all the way up on the gain channel because it was already up on the clean channel. No volume change. You know anything about that amp? There is a massive volume disparity between the clean channel and the dirty channel. So okay, that's sign number two. We got something wrong. So I already troubleshot it. Oh, I blew a fuse too. So shortly after that, as I'm sitting there like trying to figure it out, all of a sudden it just stopped working altogether. I was like, all right, and there's sign number three. Something's definitely wrong. Um, so I let it cool off for about an hour, finished whatever I was doing outside. I came back in, um, pulled the old fuse, put a new fuse in, turned it on, and this is the starting of the troubleshooting phase, right? Turned it on, and still in standby mode. Let it sit for like 90 seconds. I literally sat there and counted, right, just to make sure, because I'm very impatient. So to me, it's like 10 seconds is 90 seconds. Little ADHD problem I've got. Um, so let it sit for about 90 seconds in standby mode. Didn't blow the fuse. Okay, that's a good sign. Hooked to a speaker, mind you, the whole time. That part's important. Um, Went from standby to operate. Waited another 90 seconds, no guitar plugged in or anything. Just let's see what happens. Didn't blow the fuse. Okay, all good signs. Switch to the dirty channel. Didn't blow the fuse. Good signs. Back to the clean channel. I plugged the guitar in. I started kind of playing around. Okay, yeah, still have the volume disparity issue, or sorry, the volume issue and slightly distorted. Um, then you definitely have some kind of problem going on in the app. I would think you already know that without the clips, but if not, and you're new, I mean, to be fair, that's what this channel is geared for, is newbies. Um, then you have a some kind of problem that we need to diagnose. So that's what we're going to do today. I did already get order and received a set of power tubes. So we're gonna troubleshoot the tubes themselves, and then we're going to swap the tubes and see what happens. All right. Join me on the workstation. Okay. So if you have never had your amp off, first thing we're going to do, we're going to unplug our speaker and our power because we don't want to accidentally flip it on without a speaker hooked to it. Now, let me throw a little clarity in here as far as like heads and amps and everything without a speaker plugged in. No, if you, well, unlikely. If you turn an amp on without a load to it, it most likely is not going to blow it up immediately. Generally, this is it's best to treat it like it will because you don't know how old the output transformer is and how long it will take to go. So it's best to always be on the premise that if you're turning an amp on, you need to have some kind of load hooked up to it. That's just safety 101, right? For these. Um, but if you accidentally turn it on, no, it will most likely not blow the transformer immediately. All right, so the first thing we're going to want to do, pretty sure, given the sound that we had, there is a 90% probability it's these guys. It's your power tubes. If you're unaware, let's move this over here so you can kind of see a little better. You've got preamp tubes on this line, phase inverter. Normally, all your tubes are in a straight line. Generally speaking, your last one is going to be a phase inverter, right? Unless, I think, if I remember right, I think a deluxe reverb and a twin reverb. All your black face fenders, I think the last one is actually a reverb tube. Don't quote me on that. But in any case, you want to look up your tube layout if you have an amp that is mass produced, and you can. For example, my rev generator, I cannot look up the tube layout. They don't have that. And I've even I asked Rev about that, and they answered my question but didn't give me a tube layout. Um, Anywho, so preamp tubes. This is always going to be your V1, whatever's closest to the the input jack. These are all 12AX7s. So more than likely, there's nothing wrong with these. I'll show you how to test one anyway, but there's more than likely nothing wrong with them. All right, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to pull a power amp tube. Now, something else we could do in our troubleshooting, you can turn the amp on, again, with a load hook to it, with a speaker hook to it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to presume that you blew a fuse, okay? So show you how to do this on an MT15. It's this guy right here. This is a little drawer, not a door, a drawer, right? So we're going to take a butter knife or a small flathead screwdriver, and we're going to push right there and push it out. Just, that's it. Now, inside there, you can see two fuses, right? Hopefully with the light. The first one, this one here, is your spare fuse. The one that's actually in here down there, that's your actual fuse. So if that fuse is blown, what you're going to do, you're going to pull this way. It's basically held in there by clamp of this. So you pull this like this, and this fuse pops right out. This one pushes out, you just push it through, and then you'll pull this way, and then put the fuse in and push it back in. That simple. And then you'll go through the process I was telling you before about turn it on, leave it in standby, wait for like 90 seconds, see if it blows. Again, speaker hook to it, load on it, and then turn it on all the way, let it wait, see if it blows. If it doesn't, okay, now you continue on the next troubleshooting steps. All right, so beyond that, we're going to pull a power tube here. While you're doing that 90 seconds both ways, especially once you have it in the on, like operate mode, you're going to be looking to see if any of this area here, turn your lights down low in the room that you're got the amp on in. You're going to see if anything turns like a cherry red. This metal should not glow. This should not heat up. So what happens is that's what's called hot plating. So if this gets anywhere on here, I'll look all the way around it. If this hot plates, tube is bad. We're also going to give it just a little shake. Not violently, just a little bit. Do we hear anything loose in there? I don't. We're going to look at this here. Is it still shiny? It is. But if it's not, that could be an indicator. If this goes dull, we're going to look and see if you see any, clean the tube off too, and see if tubes have a tendency to look brand new for a very long time. So if it like has like a haze in here, the glass gets hazy or anything like that, that means that this is not sealed properly, and it means the tube is bad. It automatically means the tube is bad. So the tube visually, both of these, looks good. Also, an indicator could be if this fades off, that it could be that the glass is getting too hot, because this should not fade. So visually, both these tubes, I already looked at both of them, they both look good. So we're going to move this to the side. Now, we're going to get a multimeter. And look, you don't need a $300 fluke for this or anything like that. You just need a simple, like, $10 multimeter that can do continuity test. If you're unclear of that, that right there, sorry, light, that right there is your continuity. So what you're looking for, otherwise known as beep, no beep. No continuity, no beep. Beep. So what we're checking for is if there is continuity between the two heater pins. Now this is a JJ5881. So you have to look up the pin diagram for your particular tube, okay? Don't just go off of what I'm showing here. Now, if you're doing a JJ5881, then yes. But if this is a 6L6 GC or a 6L6, what are the large tubes called? Is it W? I don't know. Anyway, or an EL34 or whatever. If it's another kind of tube, you have to look up and see which tubes are which. Okay. So what we're going to do first, I'd already done that. So I know that this pin and this pin are the two heater pins. Boom, continuity, right? Pin 2 and pin 7. So now we're going to check to see if we have continuity in any of the other pins. If we do, the tube is bad. No continuity? None, none, none. Okay, flip it around. None, 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 none. Okay, so the tube checks out that way, right? So we can put this one back. Same thing here. Look it over. Shiny. Tube still looks brand new. Continuity test. Wrong hand. Oh my hell. That's why alligator clips are a good thing. That's what I should have done. So we have continuity for that one. None, 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 none. Okay. So that tube's good too. It checks out, right? So we're going to put this back in. All right. Now, we take a 12AX7 out. It's not going to be that one. If anything, it's going to be our phase inverter here. All right. So we need to check pins 4, 5, and 9. And these do go in a row. The reason you had to look up the power tubes is they don't always do that. And sometimes you're lucky. Some of the tube manufacturers actually number the pins. But yeah, 12AX7 is always going to go in order. So this is pin 1, 2, 3. God, what did I say? 4, 5, and 9, I think. I already forgot. Yeah, 4, 5, and 9. Okay. So I'm going to put that there. 4 and 5. Sorry. And we're good there. So we just want to check the rest of them. And good. I'm not going to go through. I just kind of showing you how to do that. I'd already checked all the 12AX7s because I wanted to be sure before I spent $100 on power tubes. I can't even see to Okay, there we go. All right. Power tubes are in, power tubes are snug. I'll check that too, I guess. All right. So now the fun part. No, I did not get 5881s. I went ahead and got 6L6 GCs. So there'll be a slight difference in sound, hopefully. So yeah, that's how we're looking here. Yeah, look at the size difference. Hopefully, I would think this would not affect my uh, my top cover from going on. All right. Next thing I want to throw out there, there's a lot of people that'll say, you should have to wear gloves and stuff when you handle tubes. I did that for a long time because the oil's in your hands. But to be honest, I mean, as long as you're keeping your hands clean, like wash your hands really well before you handle tubes, you're going to be fine. All right. Now we'll do this in the reverse order. Now, mind you, I'll still need to bias this as well, especially with a different type of tubes. But right now we're just troubleshooting still. We want to see if this makes any difference in sound. All right, so I've let it warm up. Now we're just gonna got the guitar hooked up and everything. We're just gonna do a test. So one of two things is gonna happen. Either we're gonna get a normal sound like we're expecting, or something else is wrong and the tubes are fine. Yep, something else is wrong. Okay, we're gonna turn it off right now. Make sure we don't make any more issues. So what I'm guessing, it's just a guess. I am not an amp tech, but if I had to guess, I fried this output transformer. So you're probably asking yourself, because as I had mentioned, I had already tested these tubes and they tested out good. So why then, sorry, let me go back to me. Why then did I bother go ahead and buying power tubes anyway? Well, it's a very simple answer. I've mentioned before in another video that my background is mechanic. Um, I spent a lot of years troubleshooting systems where you check a fuse, pull out the multimeter, you check continuity, you check resistance, everything. You check a wire, check the resistance of the wire, everything works out. Troubleshooting wise, the system should work. And then you pull out the fuse that you checked and you know has continuity and should be good, and you swap it with a fuse that you know for certain is good, or brand new fuse or whatever, or even something from a different system, and the system works. So, and same thing with a wire. Like you could check a wire, like you put power through the wire, like wire's good. And then you end up, pulling the wire, putting a different wire in. Holy crap, that fixed everything. So it's part of troubleshooting, unfortunately, to sometimes just swap stuff out, see what happens. Sometimes, I mean, something could visually and testing wise pass every single check, and then lo and behold, it actually isn't good. So that's why I went and bought the power tubes anyway. But so yeah, I'll have to get this to an amp tech and see what they say, because I don't mess around with pulling output transformers. At least I don't think I do. I'll see what happens. Well, that sucks. All right, guys. Well, unfortunately, there's going to be some additional stuff with this video, so we'll see how long it takes to get it back and get them to. Yeah, I don't know. All right, see you guys next time. Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to give you a quick update on the PRS MT15. After I made the video, the more I kind of thought about it over the next day or two, was like, I really haven't had that amp for that long. I've had it for a few years, but not like a decade or anything. And so I looked up on the PRS website. The warranty for their amps is 5 years, not on tubes. Tubes, you get 90 days, and that's pretty much across the board with any amp manufacturer, which I would argue says a lot about the state of our tube manufacturing processes if they'll only give you 90 days. And if you actually get your tubes from somewhere, they give you even less. I think they give you like 2 weeks most times, 2 weeks or 30 days or something like that, 45 days. But yeah, so I got a hold of PRS because I really, the more I thought about it, and I edited out the part of video where I'd kind of talked about this, but I'll add a little bit back in. I was considering taking it to a local amp tech and have them putting a different output transformer in it. That way it actually boosts the output and pushes it up to about 45, 50 watts. But the more I thought about that, was like, um, these amps are only like used anyway. The version one are somewhere between like $400 and $500 on the used market. Even if I spend, let's be somewhat conservative but realistic with the number here. If it cost me $300 to put in a different output transformer between parts and labor, and since bench fee's $100 an hour, that's probably pretty on spot. It might be 200. I don't know. I didn't call anywhere, but I could see 300 being a reasonable number to go off of. So $300. I did buy the amp brand new. Now, obviously, I'm not one of those cucks on Reverb that thinks, that I paid 700, therefore I should incur no loss. I should sell it for 650. No, that's stupid. If you're one of those people, sorry, you're stupid. So $700, sell it for $500. I turn around and put $300 into it to do the output transformer. Now I'm into this for basically $1,000 out of my pocket, and I still probably wouldn't even be able to sell it for maybe 500 to 600. Like the fact that it's upgraded to a higher wattage would probably help a little, but not a lot. For the newbies, if you're unawares, if you buy like $1,000 guitar, right, and then you put like $500 worth of bare knuckle pickups in it, it does not make that guitar worth $1,500. That guitar is still like, if on the used market that guitar goes for, let's say, $700, $750, you put $500 worth of pickups in it. Congratulations, the guitar is still worth right about the same. $750, you might get $800, possibly $900 for it, maybe, if someone really, really, really wants those pickups. But generally speaking, you eat the cost of that. If you buy a guitar cab for $1,000 and you pull the speakers out of it and you put in, even if you put in sought after speakers, it really doesn't increase the value of it. So, or not tremendously anyway. It might increase it $100, $200, and yet you spent $600 on speakers. So with that being said, that's why I really hoped it was going to be under warranty. It was. I talked to PRS, went back and forth with them on a few emails, just a little more troubleshooting. Basically, they wanted to know what I had done, what I had tried, and then they wanted me to test the bias and do a video and show pictures of everything testing the bias to show that, there's nothing wrong with the tubes. The tubes are drawing what they're supposed to be drawing. And all that checked out. So, yeah, it's going to be under warranty. I did buy the amp about 4 years ago. So, just shy. Actually, I think the transformer went out 4 years to the date of when I bought it. Crazily enough, right? 4 years to the date. So I got all, like I said, I got all the PRS and worked it out with them. Now, one thing that did surprise me, I knew I was going to have to box this thing up, but they provided the shipping label. I expected I was going to have to pay for this, and turns out they're going to pay for it to ship it to them. So that's cool. And the last thing I'll say, after doing a little bit of soul searching on this, right? I thought about it a lot before I decided to put this out there. But once I get this amp back and it's good to go, I'm going to let it go. Because I don't want to find myself. Let me be clear here. That is a great amp. The MT15 is a fantastic amp. If it was the only amp I had, number one, I wouldn't have a problem with fixing it, especially keeping it. And if I put in the bigger output transformer and all like that, I'd keep it. If it broke again, I'd pay to have it fixed again. But given all the other amps that I have that are higher dollar, I can't see myself, if I found myself in a position 3 or 4 years from now again, paying $300 or $400 when I could buy a new, to me anyway, used one for that price. I can't see myself putting the money into it to fix it. So once I get it back, I'm going to play through it, make sure everything works, it checks out everything. I presume PRS would do that as well, but I just want to make sure because I don't want to offload my problems on somebody else. And then I'm probably going to let it go. So, yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. All right. That's all I have for now. I'll let you guys know when the amp gets back and how the whole, process and experience went. But yeah, that's it. All right. Happy Sunday.